Superman vs. Homelander, the symbol of hope versus the face of corporate tyranny. Fans love to debate this fight, but let's be clear. Superman doesn't just win, he annihilates Homelander, and I'll prove it with feats, stats, and examples straight from the source material. First up, strength. Superman isn't just strong, he's cosmic. In All-Star Superman, he bench presses the weight of the Earth for 5 days straight without breaking a sweat. In Superman number 13, he literally drags a planet across space with a chain. In The Dark Knight Returns, he survives a nuclear strike and continues to fight. But perhaps his greatest feat of strength is in Superman Man of Tomorrow number 12, where Superman takes over for Atlas, the god whose job it is to hold up the entirety of reality so that Atlas can go to his daughter's wedding. Superman holds up reality for 24 straight hours. We're talking about holding up everything that exists. Not a planet, not a solar system, everything. Every star, every asteroid, every atom that exists. Meanwhile, Homelander's best feats are throwing a jet, tearing apart some other supes, and breaking Queen Maeve's spine. In The Boys number 65, it said that Black Noir has the strength to lift a dozen Mack trucks, which could be up to around 900,000 pounds, and Homelander is at least as strong as him. Very impressive for a human-scale world, but laughable compared to someone who can move planets and hold up the entirety of reality for entire days. So here's the stat check. Superman lifts worlds, Homelander lifts planes. Then there's speed. Superman has raced the Flash, the fastest being in the DC universe. In Justice League number 25, Superman flies so fast it is stated it will take hours for light to catch up to him. That would mean he was traveling at billions of miles per hour, an unfathomable speed, beyond anything physics could ever calculate or understand. And his reaction time is off the charts. He reacts in femtoseconds, a quadrillionth of a second. Homelander? He's fast, sure. He flies across the US in minutes and blitzes through crowds in the comics. He flew at around 1100 miles per hour while searching for Translucent in the show, and he did outrun an explosion when he pulled Butcher out of the house before it enveloped him, which would put his speed at least 20,000 miles per hour for at least short bursts. Very, very fast, but we're still talking miles per hour, not light speed. So in a fight, Superman blitzes Homelander before Homelander even knows it's started. Now let's talk about durability. Superman has survived inside the core of a red sun in Action Comics number 1000, a place hot enough to vaporize entire worlds. He's shrugged off Darkseid's Omega beams, attacks that have erased other heroes from existence. In The Dark Knight Returns, he takes a nuclear missile head-on and is reduced to a husk, and still recovers to keep fighting. In other stories, he's endured the crushing pull of black holes, and even magical lightning from gods. Homelander? His durability tops out much lower. Yes, bullets bounce off of him. Yes, RPGs and missiles don't faze him. He walks through conventional weapons like they're toys. But that's where his ceiling is, modern military hardware, and the cracks show fast. In Season 3 of The Boys, Queen Maeve actually bruises him, bloodies him, and holds her own in a fight. Think about that. Superman fights Doomsday, a monster engineered to kill Kryptonians, and still finds a way to win. Homelander gets rattled by Maeve, someone who in DC terms wouldn't even rank in Superman's B-tier rogues gallery. One takes a nuke to the face and comes back swinging. The other takes a punch from Maeve and winces. That's the difference between planet-level strong and cosmic strong. I want to talk about Homelander's seemingly favored power, his heat vision. Superman's beams aren't just hot, they're nuclear level, sometimes even star level. In Superman Unchained number 1, he unleashes a solar flare so bright and powerful it lights up Earth's atmosphere, basically creating a second sun in the sky. In Man of Steel, we see him slice through Black Zero's alien ships like they're made of paper. And in the comics, there are moments where his beams are measured in the millions of degrees, hotter than the surface of a star, hot enough to vaporize mountains in seconds. Homelander's lasers are still dangerous for sure, brutal against people even. In Season 2, he melts protesters and walls without effort. In the comics, he slaughters entire crowds using his eyes alone. But here's the catch. They've never cut through anything tougher than concrete or steel. They're horrifying at human level, but not impressive by Superman standards. And the real nail in the coffin? Homelander couldn't even instantly kill Maeve with them. She withstood his beams long enough to fight back. Meanwhile, Superman's heat vision can burn through beings like Darkseid's minions and alien warships, and even other Kryptonians, people who are as durable as Superman. So this isn't just a gap, it's a canyon. Superman's beams operate on a global scale, capable of reshaping landscapes. Homelanders operate on a street level, good for intimidation and shock value. It's not just a blowtorch versus the sun, it's a firecracker versus a supernova. Experience is one of the most overlooked differences between the two, and it's a game changer. Superman has fought and beaten literal gods. He stood against Darkseid, a being who conquers entire universes with a glance. He's traded blows with Doomsday, the monster engineered to kill Kryptonians and even died in the process before coming back stronger. He's faced General Zod and entire armies of Kryptonians with his exact same powers, forcing him to fight tactically, not just with his brute strength. He's defeated Brainiac, an alien intelligence who collects worlds, requiring strategy, patience, and raw willpower. And on top of all that, he spent decades as part of the Justice League, fighting alongside and against some of the most powerful beings in existence. Superman doesn't just survive battles, he learns from them, evolves, and becomes sharper. Now let's flip it to Homelander. His biggest physical fight? Queen Maeve. And while Maeve is tough in the boys universe, she's nowhere near the threat Superman faces on a weekly basis. Most of Homelander's so-called battles are against PR disasters, angry crowds, or his own fragile ego. He isn't a soldier, he isn't a tactician, he's a spoiled child who's never truly been challenged, and it shows. And yes, people love to point out that Homelander is more ruthless, that he kills without hesitation, but here's the thing. Superman chooses not to. That's not a weakness, that's restraint. It's proof of how much more powerful he really is, because if Superman ever decided to fight without holding back, it wouldn't be a fight, it would be an execution. Superman is a warrior forged in battles that shake universes. Homelander is a corporate mascot with anger issues. One knows what it means to fight for survival against equals, the other has never faced anyone in his own weight class. If Superman cuts loose even for a second, Homelander isn't just beaten, he's paced on the ground. Even on a symbolic level, Superman destroys Homelander. Superman represents the best of what power can be. Hope, compassion, strength and service of others. He doesn't just save lives, he inspires them. He's the idea that no matter how strong you are, what truly matters is how you use that strength to lift others up. That's why for nearly a century he's remained the gold standard for superheroes. Homelander, on the other hand, is the nightmare reflection of that idea. He's what happens when power exists without morality, ego unchecked, cruelty wrapped in a smile, violence passed off his leadership. His entire persona is built on lies, PR campaigns, and fear. Superman doesn't just beat Homelander physically, he dismantles everything Homelander pretends to be. Because in storytelling terms, Superman is the symbol of hope, while Homelander is a cautionary tale of power corrupted. One inspires, the other terrifies. One saves the world, the other threatens it. So when you pit them against each other, it's not just a fight, it's an annihilation. Superman doesn't just win, he proves why the very idea of Superman will always tower over the idea of a Homelander. So let's recap. Superman bench presses planets for days without breaking a sweat. Homelander struggles to keep a single plane in the air. Superman races the Flash, one of the fastest beings in all of fiction, at light speed. Homelander, he flies about as fast as a jet. Impressive for us, but not even scratching cosmic speed. Superman shrugs off nukes, black holes, and even the core of a star. Homelander's big durability feat? Tanking some missiles and small arms fire. Superman's heat vision can ignite Earth's atmosphere and burn hotter than a star. Homelander's lasers? They can barely slice through steel and can't even put down Queen Maeve. And beyond the powers, Superman has fought gods, monsters, and armies across universes. Homelander has fought public relations disasters and his own insecurities. This isn't a fight, it's a massacre. Superman doesn't just beat Homelander, he makes him irrelevant. Because when you put the real Man of Steel against his cynical knockoff, you're reminded why Superman has lasted for nearly a century. He isn't just stronger, he's the better man, and the much better story. Do you have any fun or interesting Homelander or Superman facts? Leave them in the comments below so I can check it out. Thanks for watching.